deputies.
今天的全体会议应
For
出席代
today's
表
conference,
2956人，
there should be a
出席
required attendance of 2,956. The actual attendance is 2,886. 70 people are absent, and now we are up to the requirement. Now let's begin this Congress. There are 3 items on the agenda. The first one is to deliberate the Standing Committee's work report. Now let's invite the Chairman of the Standing Committee of NPC, Li Zhanshu, to deliver the work report. Fellow deputies, on behalf of the Standing Committee of the 13th National People's Congress, I now present to you this report on its work for your deliberation. Let me begin with a brief review of our major initiatives since the second session of the 13th NPC. The time that has passed since the second session of the 13th National People's Congress has been one of the most unusual and difficult periods in our history. The CPC Central Committee, with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, has provided unified leadership for advancing our great struggle, great project, great cause, and great dream. After the COVID-19 outbreak began, the CPC Central Committee, with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, made epidemic prevention and control the absolute priority. General Secretary Xi Jinping personally took charge of directing and planning the response, and put the health and safety of the people first, as he led the party and military and people of all ethnic groups in China in an all-out people's war to curb the spread of the virus. Through arduous efforts, decisive victories were achieved in the battle to defend Hubei province and the city of Wuhan, and major strategic successes were made in the fight against the COVID-19 across the country. This once again reflected the powerful guiding role played by Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, and demonstrated the outstanding leadership of the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core in coordinating overall efforts. It also spoke volumes to the market advantages of socialism with Chinese characteristics and the leadership of CPC, and showed how the Chinese people, with their brave and tenacious spirit, can overcome any challenge, never succumbing to hardship, but rising from it and growing stronger. Since the beginning of the COVID-19 outbreak, the NPC Standing Committee has acted promptly and performed its lawful duty while vigorously implementing the decisions and plans of the CPC Central Committee. We issued the decision to completely ban illegal trade and consumption of wildlife, protecting against the public health risks and for the betterment of the society. In line with the requirement to modernize the governance system, we also have arranged the enactment and revision of laws to strengthen the system of legal guarantees for public health in order to build a stronger line of defense for health. We responded to public concerns, and we have heard 39 reports, inspected the execution of laws with new progress and new results in all fields of our work. First, we work to ensure full implementation of the Constitution in all aspects of state governance. On the occasion of 70th anniversary of the founding of PRC and under the leadership of CPC Central Committee, the Standing Committee made the decision to confer national medals and titles of honor. And we also granted special pardons to certain criminals serving prison sentences. we are implementing the spirits of the fourth session of the 19th NPC, and we also heard the reports about Hong Kong Special Administrative Region's report. We also deliberated NPC's proposals about maintaining the law-based governance of Hong Kong and for protecting the SCR's constitutional order as defined in the Constitution and the Basic Law. And we want to deliver that report and proposal for the deliberation of this Congress. I'm convinced that with our joint efforts, we could complete the legislation. We conducted inspections of constitutional compliance and recorded and reviewed normative documents in accordance with the law. Throughout the year, there are local laws, administrative regulations, judicial interpretations totaling 1,995. And for the recorded SCR, there are 33 local laws were submitted for the record. And we also examined 138 suggestions on our review work from citizens and organizations. Through review, we compelled relevant bodies to correct 506 normative documents that conflicted with the Constitution or other laws, safeguarding the sanctity and authority of the country's legal system. We also conducted activities to publicize the Constitution. We organized 6 ceremonies for officials to publicly pledge allegiance to the Constitution. We also convened symposium, and we also convened the workshop to honor the 20th anniversary of the Basic Law of Macau Special Administrative Region to promote awareness and implementation of the policy of one country, two systems.
We continue to improve the Chinese socialist legal system. In coordination with the efforts to comprehensively deepen reforms, we worked to guarantee that major reforms have a legal basis. After adopting the foreign investment law, we completed its integration with the relevant laws by revising a package of laws. We also revised the securities law and the Taiwan compatriots investment protection law, and also the tax reduction law, and the deed tax and the export control, and they authorized the State Council to temporarily adjust the application of relevant laws in pellet-free trade zones, and authorized jurisdiction of Macau's port zone at Hengqin Port and its extended areas. We also followed the new development philosophy. We promoted high-quality development with high-quality legislative work. We enacted the resource tax law and revised the law on the prevention and control of the environmental pollution caused by solid waste and forest law. And thereby, we also enacted the management law for the urban-rural estate. And we also formulated the Yangtze River Protection Law. And we used the force of law to protect the environment of Yangtze River. With fulfilling the people's aspiration for a better life as our goal, we accelerated legislation pertaining to public well-being. We formulated the law on promoting basic medicine and healthcare, and we revised the pharmaceutical administration law to effectively resolve problems of great concern to the people. And we also formulated the vaccine management law. And we set up a task force to make overall plans for enacting or revising 30 laws. And we deliberated draft revisions of the law on animal epidemic prevention to guard against biosafety risks. And this is a bid to formulate a law that guards against the biological risks, promotes the development of biotechnology. And we also strengthened supervision, justice, social governance, and national security and other related legislation. We deepened reform of the national supervision system, and we formulated the community correction law and deliberated draft revisions of the law on the protection of minors and the law on preventing juvenile delinquency, and made the decision to abolish the system of custody and education. We also revised the judges law and the public Procurator's law and authorized pilot reforms for streamlining civil litigation procedures. We also formulated the cryptography law and deliberated draft revisions of the archives law to improve legal systems for governance in relevant fields. The draft civil code submitted to this session for deliberation represents an important milestone in our country's advancement of the rule of law. Building upon the work of the Standing Committee of the last MPC, the current Standing Committee accelerated efforts to compile the Civil Code. For 7 times we have collected public opinions, and after repeated revisions and meticulous efforts, we have formulated 1,260 articles in 7 books. We are confident that through the careful deliberation of all our deputies, we will be able to produce a civil code that boasts Chinese characteristics, encapsulates the spirits of the times, reflects the will of the people, and safeguards civil rights and social fairness and justice. Our legislative work since last year has provided us with important lessons. As socialism with Chinese characteristics has entered a new era, our legislative work must meet the new requirements for the cause of the party and the state, uphold a people-centered philosophy, and ensure that the propositions of the party are translated into the will of the state. And we must see that new experiences and achievements captured in reform and opening up are promptly reflected in legislation so that the laws are more timely, systematic, targeted, and effective. 3. We advanced oversight work in line with our legally prescribed duties and with a focus on major tasks in reform and development. We also conducted supervision on budgets with a view to maintain 6 guarantees and 6 stabilizations. We supervise relevant departments to comply with relevant laws and regulations. And we also conducted law-based oversight on the plans and budgets of the government. We strengthened the management supervision of state-owned assets, which is an important obligation entrusted to the MPC by the CPC Central Committee. And we also strengthened supervision on the implementation of the laws related to the protection of the state-owned assets. We have made a 5-year plan on the protection of the state-owned assets and promoted supervision and the deepening of the reform on managing state-owned assets. We heard and deliberated reports on auditing of the execution of central government budgets and other items related on agriculture and industries at the rural area.
Development of cultural industries, acceleration of the transformation of foreign trade, reduction of taxes and fees, allocation of government funds for ecological conservation, totaling 11 special proposals. We facilitated efforts to resolve prominent issues of immediate concern to the people and conducted 7 special initiatives like combating poverty. We also strengthened oversight over judicial work. We are hearing and deliberating the report on Works People's Court to ensure enforcement of rulings in 2018, and we conducted follow-up oversight in 2019 by hearing and deliberating the report on handling of related comments of the Standing Committee members. and we heard and deliberated a report on the public interest litigation work. We conducted law enforcement inspections in line with legal stipulations. We include the law on promoting SMEs, law on prevention and control of water pollution, higher education law, law on promoting employment, and the law on renewable energy, and the fisheries law. We also invited the third party for inspection and evaluation to improve the science-based and objective evaluation and authoritative evaluation. We also covered the law on promoting SME, the enterprise bankruptcy law, and the product quality law in our evaluation. Fourth, we improved working systems and mechanisms for supporting and serving deputies in the law-based performance of their duties. By respecting NPC deputies' power, we are respecting the interest of the people. Ensuring that deputies lawfully perform their duties, we guarantee that the people remain masters of the country. With this in mind, the Standing Committee formulated 35 measures for strengthening and improving work related to NPC deputies. We earnestly handled the suggestions and proposals of deputies. During the second session of the 13th NPC, 491 proposals put forward have been reviewed, and a total of 8,160 suggestions were referred to 193 departments for implementation. With feedback given to deputies, 71.3% of the problems raised in these suggestions were either solved or addressed with plans to solve them over time. According to the suggestions and opinions of the deputies, we study the legislative projects. We also invite deputies to be part of the investigation, drafting, debate, and deliberation, evaluation. We enhanced the Standing Committee's contact with deputies. We improved mechanisms for members of the Standing Committee to get in touch with deputies and encouraged the special committees and working committees to remain in closer contact with deputies. The actual attendance in law enforcement inspections are 74, and 73 are in budget review and oversight. 298 meetings of the Standing Committee in a non-voting capacity have been held. We also foster closer ties between deputies and the people. We encourage local people's congresses to arrange for NPC deputies to attend activities organized by liaison offices and local legislative outreach offices close to them. Through different channels, we listen to the suggestions of the local people to improve the guarantee work of the deputies. We have organized 1,830 deputies for research projects and inspection tours, resulting in 91 reports. We continued to organize 1,900 attendees to be part of the centralized training. We basically realized that the grassroots level deputies have been included in such workshops. The attendance in these activities reached 1,254 in the areas like the hospitals. In the fight against COVID-19, the NPC deputies and deputies to local people's congress have reacted swiftly to the commands of CPC Central Committee. Following the leadership and the arrangements of party committees and governments at different levels, they devoted themselves to fighting against the epidemic on the front line. They conducted scientific research to guarantee the provision of supplies, donated funds and supplies, and offered suggestions and proposals, playing an active role on every front through their respective posts. Through concrete actions, they have practiced their honorable mission of representing people, working for people, and serving the people.
Five. We carried out our work on international exchanges in the service of the overall diplomatic work of the party and the state. In implementing Xi Jinping's thinking on diplomacy, we took steps to make the NPC's work on international exchanges and more active, targeted, and coordinated. We received a total of 53 delegations from 36 countries. And we also sent 65 delegations on visits to 60 countries and 1 regional parliamentary organizations, making it our top priority to see through the outcomes and consensus reached in diplomatic work at the head of the state level. We stepped up friendly exchanges between the NPC and parliamentary bodies of other countries. And we provided policy guarantees for deepening practical cooperation in all areas. We also strengthened good relations between China and neighboring countries at the parliamentary level, and we have presented and hosted the 5th meeting between the NPC and its counterpart in Russia, and we also conducted mechanism exchanges with France and Germany, and we have also reached 4 newly established bilateral friendship groups. We also organized seminars attracting delegations from 140 countries. We made the best use of the legal exchange framework and mechanism with relevant countries, and strengthened our collaboration with relevant countries. And we also conducted efforts in popularizing and spreading our knowledge of the laws to other nations. 6. We intensified self-improvement efforts with the focus on upholding the unity between the leadership of the party, the position of the people as masters of the country, and law-based government. Upholding the unity between the leadership of the party, the position of the people as masters of the country, and law-based governance is an essential requirement for pursuing socialist political development and for the upholding and improving the People's Congress systems. We have organized 6 special seminars and conducted the 2nd seminar on the learning of Xi Jinping thoughts for socialism with Chinese characteristics in a new era. The Standing Committee set up special commissions to conduct special investigatory and study trips. And we also opened an online petition platform at the NPC. We have received more than 80,000 letters of petition. We also complied with the law on legislation and see to it that the discipline of meetings are complied. The special committees of the National People's Congress complied with their legal responsibilities in research, in law drafting, and also in deliberation of relevant proposals. We have strengthened the publicity efforts of the NPC and promoted the integrated development between magazines, the online portals, and different terminals. And we also encouraged the Foreign Affairs Committee of the NPC to initiate the spokesperson mechanism, and we have also organized a seminar on the 40th anniversary of the Standing Committee. And we conducted a work liaison meeting and seminar at the provincial level NPC, and we also organized the 25th National Legislation Seminar. their deputies.
The achievements made by the Standing Committee came under the strong leadership of the Party's Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core. They were the result of the diligent work of all NPC deputies, members of the Standing Committee and Special Committees, and staff of the administrative bodies of NPC. On behalf of the Standing Committee of the NPC, I want to pay my sincere gratitude. However, there were also certain shortcomings in the work of the Standing Committee. We didn't sufficiently exercise our leading role in legislation. The oversight mechanisms and approaches need to be refined, and the effectiveness of oversight needs to be improved. Our work to serve deputies in order to aid them needs to be enhanced. We will continue to hear the suggestions and proposals from the deputies to keep improving our work in all respects. Fellow deputies, the fourth plenary session of the 19th CPC Central Committee has systematically summarized the tremendous achievements and market strengths of China's state system and national governance system, and laid out top-level designs and comprehensive plans for upholding the system of socialism with Chinese characteristics in the new era, and advancing the modernization of China's governance system. The People's Congress system is an important component and the fundamental political system that serves as the pillar of our national governance system. The Chinese people have built a clearer understanding of the fact since the founding of the PRC that the People's Congress system is a vital system that boasts enormous advantages. We must remain committed to upholding and improving the People's Congress system and constantly enrich its practical nature and contemporary relevance. We can translate our institutional strengths into effective national governance and use this system to ensure that our nation's destiny remains firmly in the hands of our people. Main tasks for the coming month. In 2020, our party will lead the people in fulfilling the first centenary goal. The Standing Committee will hold high the banner of socialism with Chinese characteristics, follow the guidance of Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, and fully implement the guiding principles of the party's 19th National Congress and the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th plenary sessions of its 19th Central Committee. We will boost our awareness of the need to maintain political integrity, think in big-picture terms, follow the leadership role, and keep in alignment with the Central Party leadership. We will uphold General Secretary Xi Jinping's core position on the Central Committee and uphold the unity between the leadership of the party, the position of the people as masters of the country, and law-based governance. We will modernize China's governance system and coordinate our efforts to implement the five-sphere integrated plan and the full comprehensive strategy, and on securing decisive success in our efforts to win the fight against poverty and build a moderately prosperous society in all respects. We will advance epidemic prevention and control in accordance with economic and social development, remain committed to the general principle of pursuing progress while ensuring stability, carry out our duties and functions in accordance with the law, and strive to make new progress. First, ensuring full enforcement of the Constitution. We will make progress in constitutional compliance inspection, build up a system for recording and reviewing normative documents. We will implement the measures for recording and review of regulations and judicial interpretations. We will safeguard the rights and orders of the basic laws and the Constitution. We will improve the Standing Committee's interpretation system of basic laws. At national level, we will establish the special administrative regions' laws and regulations and their execution mechanisms. We will be committed to the major principles related to Taiwan, and we will uphold the One China principle, resolutely oppose and restrict separatist forces seeking Taiwan independence, and promote the peaceful development of cross-strait relations on the basis of the 1992 consensus. Second, strengthening legislative work in key areas. Facing extremely onerous tasks on the legislative agenda this year, we will balance quality and efficiency, endeavor to make legislation more thoroughly designed. To promote high-quality development, we will formulate the Yangtze River Conservation Law, the Law on Promoting Rural Vitalization, the Futures Law, and the Hainan Free Trade Port Law, and we will formulate Biosecurity Law, the Law on Protection of Personal Information, and Data Security Law. And to accelerate the creation of a system of laws for extraterritorial application, we will formulate the Export Control Law and revise anti-money laundering law. To improve the system of institutions, we will revise the organic law of NPC and NPC's procedural rules, and the electoral law and the national flag law. All in all, we will endeavor to accomplish the major legislative tasks set by the CPC Central Committee.
Third, exercising oversight in accordance with the law. We will improve oversight systems and mechanisms to ensure full implementation of the CPC Central Committee's decision and plans, and effectively enforce some of the laws. And we have put 29 oversight tasks on our agenda, and we have heard and deliberated 16 work reports on topics such as the implementation of the innovation-driven development strategy. We also conducted deliberation on the law of the prevention and control of soil pollution, the charity law, and the anti-unfair competition law. And we plan to conduct 5 special investigations on relevant laws, and fourth, supporting deputies in performing their duties in accordance with the law, and we will encourage NPC deputies to better perform their duties. And we will help deputies pursue self-improvement, enhance their theoretical competence, and foster political integrity so that they can better perform their duties. And we will also accelerate the building of an information platform for deputies to perform their duties. And fifth, actively conducting international exchanges. We will make the best use of the advantages of the NPC in foreign exchanges, and we will make the best use of the mechanisms and strengthen friendly communications at all levels, and consolidate the overall landscape of friendly foreign relations. And sixth, improve the enhancing self-improvement of the Standing Committee, and we will consolidate and further the outcomes of the education campaign on the theme of staying true to the party's founding mission, and thoroughly study and implement Xi Jinping thoughts on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era. We're going to improve the publicity function of the NPC. Fellow deputies, we are now at the cusp of achieving the goal of building a moderately prosperous society in all aspects, with the bright prospects of national rejuvenation. Let us rally closely around the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, unite and forge ahead with great determination, make diligent efforts to live up to the great trust that has been placed upon us, and work hard to uphold and improve the system of socialism with Chinese characteristics, modernize China's governance system and the capacity of governance, and achieve the 2 centenary goals, and realize the Chinese dream of national rejuvenation.